everybody, I'm Iggy from Wikipedia. It is time for your daily reading. If you've been watching these videos, you know that the YouTubers get this and the bundle get all of it. If you want to get a synchronicity reading, you can also go on the playlist, scroll down, you can meditate on it. When you feel drawn to a video, you click on it and there might be a message there for you. It's likely there's a message there for you then. So these videos are synchronicity readings. Doesn't matter what day you watch them on, it's going to be a message for you. So what I do, I set up so you also get individualized reading. So you choose 1, 2 or 3 and I read the card combination. So you also learn card combinations. I also flip I divide the deck in 3 and I flip the bottom up so that we get to see the underlying issue. And I do the same with the Norse Gods and Goddesses Oracle deck, and I might pick up my numerology deck to get extra information. We'll see how we go anyway. So the daily message for today is from the Destiny deck. It says clarity, and I'm going to read that with the Norse Gods and Goddesses deck, secrets. So that could mean that for some of you things have been very unclear. Verdandi is a Norse weaver from the Norse mythology, and she's a weaver of the present moment. And this, it basically means things are kind of at a standstill in some ways. You could be multitasking and you could have a lot of things going on, but maybe you feel like you're not moving forward in any specific direction. Maybe you feel like you need to know in what specific direction are you meant to go. So let's have a look at the tarot cards. Get Queen of Wands. So Queen of Wands is a very individualized card, meaning it's all about your individuality now. It's about you creating something of your own that you can say this is mine. Together with Verdandi, it can mean that you maybe you are trying too hard, and sometimes less is more. Try less and you'll achieve more. Queen of Wands, when she's reversed, unfortunately can become a very hostile person. So this can also mean for some of you, not for all of you, but for some of you, you're dealing with hostility from someone who could be sabotaging you. And Verdandi, when she's kind of on a negative, can also mean someone who kind of interferes in your business. So let's pull a card from the rune deck as well. I talk a lot more about Queen of Wands actually in the video. I did a video about Queen of Pentacles, but I mentioned also Queen of Wands because the queens are very strong influencers in the tarot. When I pull the extra card, I get completion here for you. So it basically means for you to move forward, you need to tie in a few loose ends in your life, or you're just going to end up going around in the same circle. So the efforts that you have been putting in will give you rewards. The rewards that will bring you more of what you need. The queens always mean trust in some ways, that you're trusting in where you're going, that you're on the right path, that you can rest assured that you made the right decision, basically. So now choose 1, 2 or 3. You can pause this video if you like. For those of you who picked card combination 1, it's definitely completion time for you. You get the World with Page of Swords. Now this actually, even though there's only 2 cards, it completes an arrow. And that can happen sometimes. It's rare that you get an arrow with only 2 cards, but when it happens, it's very significant. It's a strong message for you. So what I mean with an arrow, it means something is aligned perfectly. So the World is a 3 in numerology. 3 is about progress and communication and mental clarity actually. So if you picked card combination 1, you have clarity now. And you will know what to do, and it's time for you to expand. Okay? The reason the 3 works so well with swords, it means mental clarity and having mental challenges that will help you grow. So when you get a lot of 3s, when there are a lack of swords, it's like the person is needs a lot of stimulation, but they're underwhelmed. There's nothing that really stimulates them at the moment. They could be very bored, So when you get swords, that means there's a lot of challenges there for the seeker to really stimulate them in their learning, and it gives them quality of life. When you get page, then you have the perfect alignment. Then you get 3 with swords with pages. So page means curiosity, your enthusiasm. There's someone there that really understands and gets you. And you can really learn from this person. You can learn together. So it often becomes a friendship or a collaboration of some kind that can help you in some way. So for a lot of you, there is big progress in your life. But in whatever area you're asking, but I feel like it's going to be, you're going to expand in your living situation. Some of you are moving. You get to be powerful at the moment. The power, Odin, there's the underlying card, means power as well. And the underlying card for 1 is 4 of Pentacles, which actually creates an alignment with Queen of Wands. So you get 4, in numerology is commitment, Pentacles is, your money. And Queen of Wands is your, all the queens are about trust. So then you have an alignment of being very well established, and you can expand on your living situation. You can invest and you can move forward, and there's a lot of trust in what you're doing. You're on the right path. So let's have a look. So I think for those of you who picked card combination 1, you already have clarity, a lot of you. Now this card followed us around yesterday, individuality. Remember what I said about Queen of Wands? It is about your individuality. And for some of you, this is about parents and children. So parenting, whether it's your parents or your kids or something that you nurture. It could be animals as well that actually strengthen you. Okay, so for some of you, it could be this could actually mean a very strong bond with one of your children, or with all of your children, or there's something very special with a person in your life at the moment. And you could be really investing in this person. For those of you who haven't got kids, it can mean that you're investing in yourself, or someone is investing in you and really believing in you. That's most likely what it means. So, card combination 2. So you get Queen of Cups with Death. Now, when you get, so this came yesterday as well. These 2 cards came together. I don't remember if it was in the bundle or if it was in the YouTube video. But it came together, but they came, it's about change that you can't really avoid. So you can either face it or ignore it, but it most likely will happen anyway. Queen of Cups, queens are about trusting, especially Queen of Cups. She's very psychic. It can mean that you've had some kind of event in your life, a divine timing moment that actually changed your belief system and everything, that, how you look at the world. Or maybe you had a near-death experience for some of you that opened you up psychically. This could mean actually that you have a glimpse. You can glimpse into the other side. The veil is very thin at the moment. And Justice here. This is the underlying card. That even represents the veil. That's why it is a veil actually there. It's a veil there. And we can't see what's on the other side often because spiritual laws keep us from seeing. We can't see the afterlife. But every now and then this veil becomes very thin. And that is often when there's a death door around us, or we've been through, maybe we've lost someone that we were very close to, and that love is so strong that it actually can, it goes straight through the veil, and we can attach to the person, so that love is still there, it remains, and you get to sense the person around you, feel the person is still there. For some of you, your psychic ability is something you could have been born with that is reawakening. But for some reason, you can peer through the veil at this stage. I'm going to ask for some more information. And for some of you, this is about patience, actually. So whatever it is that you've been wanting, you know, this is underlying. We get completion. So whatever it is that you've been wanting to happen, it's gonna happen. You just have to be a little bit more patient. But I feel like for a lot of it, it is your psychic development and your spiritual development and your spiritual gifts. They're coming together now for you. And if you have had some injustice happening in your life, they're saying it's only a matter of time and you will get justice. Okay. So, card group 3. And remember, the underlying issue here is the stars. It's about your hopes for the future and your dreams and desires. And with Queen of Wands, it's most likely a lot of entrepreneurs in this group and teachers as well, and people with really good skills at communicating as well. Now you get 2 sevens. So you get the Chariot with 7 of Pentacles. So that double 7 means that there's a lot of need for answers. You're asking all the big questions, but remember, secrets here. The weavers meant that there's 3 of them. There's a weaver for the past, for the present, and for the future. And when Verdandi shows up, she's a weaver of the present, but she also represents the weavers. And they didn't like anyone looking at what they were doing. They didn't want you to see what was going on. And Frigga had her way with the weavers, but even she couldn't really, find out too much. So it means that if you want answers, you need to really ask a higher power. You need to go a little bit higher, because the weavers or your spiritual team, which it can also represent, they're not going to tell you everything. They don't want you to know everything that's going on at the moment. The questions that you want answered, it's almost like you feel like there are no answers. But there is answers for you. You have to ask the Creator of all. So the Creator of all is the energy that moves in all things, and it's much higher than any of the other energies you can go to, including the angels, It's all that is, basically. And if you connect to this energy, and you can use, just using prayer command, you can just ask the Creator to connect you and ask for answers. You might not get the answer straight away, but in the following days, you will get an answer. It's going to happen. You will always get an answer, and it will be something that you will understand. You can even ask to get it in a way you can understand and accept in the highest and best way. Because when you get double 7 like this, you see this person looks really tired. It's like you have big hopes, and there's a lot of trust in the Chariot. It's like there's a strong will and a lot of desire for success. But the Seeker is very tired of feeling like things are taking very long. They need heal as well, because the star means something could have happened that was traumatic in a way that you need to heal from. And whatever you're keeping yourself really busy about, and it could be to forget for some of you, you need to also remember to your spiritual side. So that means you need to quiet your mind and wait for the answers to come through. I'm going to pull a card in the Destiny deck for you. It's all about for you to be satisfied with what you're doing and be happy with who you are. I feel like that's big. It's all about knowing that you belong somewhere with someone, being somewhere where you feel like you're part of something. But I feel like you're very independent. You're so independent that people sometimes think that they maybe even leave you out. For some of you, you feel left out of things, but people think that you are not interested, or it's like some misunderstandings, because you come across as so independent. They say you need to take more of an initiative, and people will realize that, you really want to be part of things, because you are very, very strong, independent person. Also pull a card for you here in the numerology deck. Wonder if it's going to be another 7. But with the 7 of Pentacles, it's all about the long-term goals, you know. Communication, yes. So it could have been some miscommunication. Could have been that maybe you feel like you have made something clear that hasn't been seen that way. Oh, so the top card was a 6 in numerology. 33, 3 plus 3 is 6. It's a master number. Say you need to really master something in your life. You need to feel like you're in charge. That's also the meaning by the Chariot. And another meaning of the Chariot is self-love. And the bottom card is a 7 in numerology. That means we have 3 sevens. And self-love, 61, 6 plus 1 is 7. Self-love is the answer to pretty much everything when you think of it. If you have self-love, your body will be stronger and you will heal from a lot of things. Joy will return, it's the lack of self-love that is the root of pretty much anything, and especially addictive behavior. And with sevens sometimes like to escape. And for some of you, you will have some escape issues. It could mean that you work too hard, you like to move all the time or travel, like you just don't always like to deal with the mundane. For some of you, not all of you obviously, but for some of you that will be watching this could have problems with drugs and alcohol as well. Gambling, it's any kind of addictive behavior, but it's a lack of self-love. So that means that's what you need to meditate on, and you need to fill yourself up with self-love. From the Creator will do this for you. You just have to ask. And you can do it every day, because once you get self-love, you could feel very uncomfortable with that feeling and want to reject it. So you need to know that you're worthy and deserving of self-love. 777 means a strong spiritual bond. So you most likely have a strong spiritual bond with someone. And if that person is not in your life, it could cause some problems. It could also be a strong spiritual bond with animals and nature as well. Nature is huge with sevens. So strong need to be in nature. And the star often, you can see she's outside, she's part of nature. It's like finding yourself, who you are without all the technology. And ironically, the star means also using technology. So it could mean that you're using technology a little bit too much. Sevens represents often people who are very good with technology and who's very comfortable with technology, but it's saying for a lot of you the answer is actually going to be in being outside more. 7 of Pentacles can mean actually living on a farm, or doing landscaping jobs, or anything to do with outside. Sometimes it speaks of being a student, because it's like that long-term goal you have to complete before you get your reward. So but whatever goal it is you have, it's going to take some time to achieve it. But the way you communicate, I feel like you could be a little bit isolated from everybody else. So the way you communicate, make sure that people know that you're interested in them and what they're doing, and that will help you. You'll have to, I feel, take the initiative, make you more included in things. So, yes, 7 it can be a challenging number in the sense that it's a spiritual number. So many times when people get a lot of 7s in their reading, it means that they feel not really, that even sometimes people don't even feel like they even belong on this planet. And it is that number 7. It just makes you want to go out there. You're thinking about everything else that's, you're thinking about other realms of reality, and you think about the stars and aliens and other realities and possibilities, and it can become like being a bit detached from what's happening here and now. So set yourself some goals and start working towards those goals, because I feel like you really want to achieve them. And because of the 7 of Pentacles, it's almost like maybe you feel like it's just taking too long. You see that here as well in the status quo. So ask the Creator, pray to have that things will start moving forward for you, and better and faster and easier. Yes. So that was my daily message, and I'm going to continue now with the bundle. Talk again tomorrow. Bye.